Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
What's going on, Habibis? I'm Siraj Hashmi.
I'm Mujahed Kobbe.
We're the Habibi Bros. Welcome to another episode of Habibi Power Hour. Jay.
Siraj.
I'm on the opposite side of the screen. What the hell's going on?
I know, it's kind of weird.
I know.
Well, we're messing with things around a little bit.
Are we tinkering too much?
I don't think we're tinkering too much. I think we're tinkering just the right amount.
Well, for an interesting thought experiment, if Spencer were to switch our screens around to the other side, imagine what it would look like. Yeah,
that's exactly what it will look like.
Switch it back. I couldn't see you.
So, it's nuts. Kind of like somebody's eyes going the opposite directions.
Oh, like Steve Buscemi's character in the film Waterboy.
Exactly right.
Yeah, that's sounds about.
Were you ever friends with somebody with a lazy eye?
I think my sister had a lazy eye.
Had?
Yeah, well, maybe still does, but it's not like to the degree of like Steve Buscemi in Waterboy. No,
I've never had friends with lazy eyes. I don't think I could. I could be friends.
I don't
with
think
them.
You could be.
I feel uncomfortable.
Yeah, but you wouldn't be sure which eye to look into.
It's so hard.
Yeah,
it's
the lazy eye.
Is it the one that's looking right at me, or do I need to go over?
Are you paying attention to me or to the dog licking its balls over there? Man. So, Habibis, we are live on Habibi Power Hour. What? No, I meant to say we're live on Rumble. Jesus, that's my first fuck up tonight.
It's okay. There's going to be many.
There's going to be many. We're doing the show just ever so slightly different. Not like an extremely different way, but just like to the point where we're still getting comfortable being in the same room as each other, as opposed to,
3,000 miles away.
Yeah, we did the show for almost up until like last, I don't know, even though like you were here in November, we didn't actually physically set up the studio until like a week ago.
Right.
So for almost 4 years we've done the show 3,000 miles apart.
Right. And just through the screen with each other.
Yeah.
I mean, now we can touch each other.
I mean, gingerly, of course.
Of course.
Gingerly touch tips.
Yes.
So, but Habibi's, speaking of gingers, Tucker Carlson's in the news. I mean, he might not be ginger, but he's definitely treated as the redheaded stepchild of journalism.
Well, and also he wears that bow tie. I thought only gingers wore bow ties like that.
He's not young Sheldon, Jay. He's not young Sheldon.
I mean, I didn't think he was young Sheldon. Maybe he is kind of like autistic, though.
I wouldn't be surprised by that. Anyways, Tucker Carlson is currently in Moscow interviewing Russian President Vladimir Putin. And he actually posted this on X earlier, this clip. Let's watch and react to it, because most people are like, why the hell is Tucker in Russia? Well, he explains it right here.
We're in Moscow tonight. We're here to interview the president of Russia, Vladimir Putin. We'll be doing that soon. There are risks to conducting an interview like this, obviously, so we thought about it carefully over many months. Here's why we're doing it. First, because it's our job. We're in journalism. Our duty is to inform people. 2 years into a war that's reshaping the entire world, most Americans are not informed. They have no real idea what's happening in this region, here in Russia or 600 miles away in Ukraine. But they should know. They're paying for much of it in ways they might not fully yet perceive. The war in Ukraine is a human disaster. It's left hundreds of thousands of people dead, an entire generation of young Ukrainians, and it's depopulated the largest country in Europe. But the long-term effects are even more profound. This war has utterly reshaped the global military and trade alliances, and the sanctions that followed have as well. And in total, they have upended the world economy. The post-World War II economic order, the system that guaranteed prosperity in the West for more than 80 years, is coming apart very fast, and along with it, the dominance of the US dollar. These are not small changes. They are history-altering developments. They will define the lives of our grandchildren. Most of the world understands this perfectly well. They can see it. Ask anyone in Asia or the Middle East what the future looks like. And yet the populations of the English-speaking countries seem mostly unaware. They think that as nothing has really changed. And they think that because no one has told them the truth. Their media outlets are corrupt. They lie to their readers and viewers. And they do that mostly by omission.
Never.
For example, since the day the war in Ukraine began, American media outlets have spoken to scores of people from Ukraine, and they have done scores of interviews with Ukrainian President Zelensky. We ourselves have put in a request for an interview with Zelensky, and we hope he accepts. But the interviews he's already done in the United States are not traditional interviews. They are fawning pep sessions specifically designed to amplify Zelensky's demand that the U.S. enter more deeply into a war in Eastern Europe and pay for it. That is not journalism. It is government propaganda. Propaganda of the ugliest kind, the kind that kills people. At the same time, our politicians and media outlets have been doing this.
So Putin's going to be just giving us facts, right? That's what Putin's going to be doing.
Not a single Western journalist has bothered to interview the president of the other country involved in this conflict, Vladimir Putin. Most Americans have no idea why Putin invaded Ukraine or what his goals are now. They've never heard his voice. That's wrong. Americans have a right to know all they can about a war they're implicated in. And we have the right to tell them about it because we are Americans too. Freedom of speech is our birthright. We were born with the right to say what we believe. That right cannot be taken away no matter who is in the White House. But they're trying anyway. Almost 3 years ago, the Biden administration illegally spied on our text messages and then leaked the contents to their servants in the news media. They
just dick pics.
Just dick pics.
Imagine all the dick pics between him and Vladimir Putin.
Once again, but this time we came to Moscow anyway. We are not here because we love Vladimir Putin. We are here because we love the United States. We want to remain
and had to get away.
Being in Russia has a lot to do with the southern border.
No money from any government or group. Nor are we charging people to see the interview. It is not behind a paywall. Anyone can watch the entire thing, shot live to tape and unedited, on our website, tuckercarlson.com.
You think he has a gun like to his head and he's reading through a cue card?
Elon's on the other side.
Platform X, and we're grateful for that. Western governments, by contrast, will certainly do their best to censor this video on other less principled platforms because that's what they do. They are afraid of information they can't control. But you have no reason to be afraid of it. We are not encouraging you to agree with what Putin may say in this interview, but we are urging you to watch it. You should know as much as you can. And then, like a free citizen and not a slave, you can decide for yourself.
I can't believe Tucker Carlson would evoke slavery during Black History Month, Jay.
I know, right?
I'm shocked and appalled.
I am too. He should have done what I did and played Power World.
Imagine Tucker Carlson was a stream. Like he leaves Fox News, he gets fired from Fox News and becomes a streamer, and he only streams Power World.
I mean, he's had the best type of interviews from Cat Turd to Vladimir Putin.
Okay, all right. I'm willing to give him a pass on Cat Turd if this Vladimir Putin interview turns out to be like on the level of like the CIA assassinating Tucker for doing such a good interview. Do you think Tucker's capable of giving a good interview to Vladimir Putin?
Well, what I hope is that he proves what I think wrong on what's going to happen. I hope it's not going to be softball questions. I hope it's actually he's going to actually be there and make journalists envious over the type of questions that he's going to be able to ask.
Like, is it going to be that Fox News regrets firing Tucker because he got such a good interview out of Putin?
I hope that's what it's going to show. I hope it's not just him just
stroking his
ego and
like Sean. We know that Sean Hannity would do that, but like he does that to like any like strong man, and I don't think Hannity gives a fuck anymore. But like Tucker, I still feel like he gives a fuck, and I think he would. Correct me if I'm wrong. I actually think he might do a good job here, and the reason for that is because, like, all the world has Tucker in their spotlight, right? Mm-hmm. And if he fucks up, like his entire like livelihood is based on the fact that he brings on interesting people, interviews them, presses them.
Right.
If he completely throws it all the way when he's with Putin, and he says it's going to live to tape, it's going to be unedited, and it's going to be free. You're probably going to see it on X. You're probably going to see it on Rumble too.
Yeah.
It's not like those two. Well, we'll get into X suppression here in a little bit. But for the most part, like Vladimir Putin, for a lot of people, don't care what he has to say.
Right.
A lot of people don't care what he has to say, and they think that simply giving Putin a platform is tantamount to treason. Like they're calling Tucker Carlson the traitor straight up.
There's a lot of people who are doing that, but one thing that doesn't make sense, and I don't think is true, is that the mainstream media hasn't been trying to get an interview with Putin.
No, they certainly haven't been. Well,
they've been
for
trying.
the most part, we don't know if they've been trying. I don't think there's been anybody in our corporate media establishment or whatever institution. I don't think any of them have tried recently.
I don't think that's true. I don't think that that's going to be right, because it's a very high profile type story to get. I mean, Putin could just be rejecting it. You had a lot of journalists.
That's true too.
You had a lot of journalists come out and quote tweet Tucker Carlson saying that they have been trying to get interviews with him, but they keep on getting denied, and they haven't stopped trying to get interviews with him.
So
I mean,
are
NBC,
they highlighting that by trying to dismiss the credibility of this interview?
No, I don't think they're trying to dismiss the credibility of the interview. I think they're trying to defend themselves from the claim that nobody is trying to have an interview with Putin.
I think that's
Putin's last interview with NBC, I think, was in 2001.
Wait, oh, you know,
2021. Sorry, not 2001.
2021.
Yeah,
I remember Megyn Kelly specifically went to Russia, I think during the Trump years. I want to say it was early in the Trump years, or possibly late Obama years, and interviewed Putin. And she was given a ton of shit for that. I actually can't remember. She moved over to NBC, I think, in 2016. There was that one video where she's dancing with Habibi Kobbe, and it's in front of a live studio audience. I'm really hoping our producers can find this, because they're throwing a curveball at them after we told them earlier that we weren't going to throw a curveball at them. But this is to keep them on their toes, okay?
Right. But I have it up here. So it was the last. It took place in Moscow, June 11, 2021, with Keir Simmons.
Who the fuck is that?
I have some white guy.
What's his last name?
Keir Simmons.
Like the rice dessert?
Simmons, S-I-M-M. Keir
Keir's like rice pudding.
Is it? Oh yeah, in
Pakistan.
Pakistan. So is Pakistani is not the language. It's Urdu.
Urdu.
Yes.
Yeah.
Urdu. So and India is also Urdu, isn't it?
No, India is Hindi. But if you listen to them, you could not tell the difference between the two. It's like if the US claimed English as their first language and didn't call it English, they called it American.
Right.
And you listen to the two between English and American, you'd be like, why are these two? Why are they considered completely different? How are they have different names? Like, but if you listen to a lot of Brits speak English, particularly in Northern England, it's actually kind of insane when you listen to them, because you're like, they're speaking English right now, but I don't understand a fucking word they're saying.
Oh, especially if you're like somebody from Liverpool or some shit like that too.
Yeah,
you won't understand it. But it's kind of like here too. Have you ever heard people from Louisiana speak, or Georgia?
I guess that's true.
Or fucking even here in Florida. Like if you go into further north, it's funny. Here in Florida, it's like the opposite.
Yeah,
the more south you go, the less southern it is, and the more north you go, the more southern it is.
Yep.
Like if you go to Tallahassee or Jacksonville or some shit.
Pensacola.
Like, have you ever tried to listen to Lamar Jackson speak?
Lamar Jackson,
the quarterback
from the Baltimore Ravens.
Yes.
He's not originally from Florida, is he?
No, he's not. But I think he's from Georgia.
Yeah, he's a Southern country boy.
I can't understand half the words.
Half the words of what he's saying.
Yeah. From people from Georgia, people from fucking up north here in Florida.
So for you,
Mississippi,
as a English as a second language speaker, when you hear that, what goes through your mind?
Right. When they're speaking, no, I sort of understand what they're saying, but it's like when I try to listen to an Egyptian speak Arabic.
Okay, yeah, that sounds retarded.
Yeah, it's very retarded. Like Egyptian Arabic is fucking retarded.
Yeah, they change all their J's to a g sound. So if you had to show them the word that's it's spelled GIF, if you had to show them that, it'd be like gif.
Mm-hmm. That's how they'll say it.
And then if you tell them GIF, they'll be like, I'm gonna commit mass murder on you. I'm gonna fly 2 planes into your buildings.
The 2 towers. But honestly, I hope for this interview we see a different side of Tucker, because it's his credibility as an interviewer has like been shot to shit, I think, with a lot of the different interviews he's been doing. But if he can get Vladimir Putin to like shook and give him a look like you're not leaving Russia alive, it's going to be a fucking
here's the hang up. I have never seen Vladimir Putin speak English.
No, he doesn't.
Everything is done through translator. So the one thing that is really hurting Tucker is if Vladimir Putin doesn't use a translator and he speaks English, because I feel like he knows English.
Vladimir Putin probably knows 6 languages. I wouldn't be surprised.
I wouldn't be surprised. He was a KGB agent.
Right.
You have
so you have to know.
If you're going to spy on the United States as a KGB agent, I feel like you have to know English. That's a prerequisite.
100%. Essentially. Fuck, I just took a drink.
You just took a drink. And I finished my drink. But this Tom Elliott tweet says, I agree with everything Tucker says here. Americans have a right to know as much as possible about this conflict we're being forced to finance. Tucker should also understand Putin knows he'll benefit from this interview. And so why not use that as leverage and ask for the release of Wall Street Journal reporter Evan Gershkovich? That would help Putin show he's rational and open to negotiation. It also helped Tucker deflect the thousands of arrows about to be unleashed against him. So, interesting insight from Tom Elliott. I probably would say, yeah, if Tucker wastes that opportunity to try to get Evan Gershkovich released from a Russian gulag, I'd say that's a pretty big fuck up.
Yeah, if at least he didn't mention it. I don't think he's going to mention it.
I don't know. I'm holding out hope. I'm cautiously optimistic.
It's good. I mean, look, I'm the same way. I just feel from what I've seen Tucker Carlson start doing, and the way he like leans into the garbage that is like cat turd, the garbage that is like the Obama dick sucker, like that is to me like garbage stuff.
That man is a saint.
It's fun stuff for sure, but you can't be considered somebody serious when you're doing shit like that and pretend you're doing it for truth and journalism, because it's not real. That's more of just like having a dumb it's like when Joe Rogan has Alex Jones on type of thing. Like it's fun.
Everybody knows
you get to hear these shit, but
I mean, I think everybody understands at this point that Alex Jones is not like this. I think he's been right on a lot of things that turned out to be crazy at the time. But for the most part, when people have Alex Jones on, either A, they don't give a fuck, or B, they know what Alex Jones' shtick is, and they think it's funny.
Yeah, and and it's going to get viewership and stuff like that too.
I think it's funny. I mean, like, of course, I think I was a little bit devastated when what's it called? They revealed in the deposition, I think back in like 2017, when Alex Jones was getting a divorce, that he was only playing a character. And that broke my heart.
I know, me too. My favorite one was when he was like, "Look, I'm a little retarded."
That
perfect defense,
spirit animal energy, right there. That Alex Jones. I mean, who amongst us is not a little bit retarded?
Right. And then we had Flapper over on Locals on the non-porch chat chime in. He asked what I would at Mujahid, what question would you ask Putin if you got an interview?
Well, we obviously know what that is, Jay, but do you want me to guess what your question would be? Let's do this. Let's guess each other's like first questions.
Yeah.
Vladimir Putin, do you eat ass?
Perfect.
See, what do you think my first question would be, though, Jay?
Your first question would be, Tiyish Zandinsu.
I'm sorry, what?
Is that how you say it? Tiyish Zandinsu. In Russian, that it's also do you eat ass?
I don't know why I even asked, and I obviously knew the answer. I probably should have just.
You probably would have asked, does Russia cum taste different than American cum? And can you show me?
I feel like that might be Tucker's first question. Anyways, now that we've guessed each other's questions, I clearly won. Jay did not, because my first question would be top or bottom. What do you think he'd say?
Top.
No, he's obviously a bottom.
Vladimir Putin's obviously a bottom.
And that's how we start World War III. There we go, Habibis. Let's go. All right. Jay, I went on Newsmax the other day. Did you know this?
Yeah, I saw you get on Newsmax, and I like when we get on Newsmax. The Habibis do not disappoint in the Rumble live chat.
It was pretty great. Actually, one of the stories we talked about was this program called Woke Kindergarten.
Yes.
And you immediately were like, as soon as I got off that hit, you're like, we have to talk about Woke Kindergarten. So let's talk about it.
Yes.
What the fuck is happening with Woke Kindergarten? It's basically a program that they have in San Francisco. This is from the San Francisco Chronicle. It says a Bay Area high school. Oh, sorry, not Bay Area high school. A Bay Area school struggling to boost low test scores and student attendance is paying $250,000 for an organization called Woke Kindergarten to train teachers to disrupt racism and remove those barriers to learning. Its test scores fell even further. So they did the statistics on it. Is they both across reading and math scores dropped, not by a whole lot, but 4% or 12%. I can't fucking remember the exact number. Somewhere around there. Basically, it went the opposite way instead of going up. But they got attendance higher. And I thought to myself, well, at least kids are in school and, not on the street because Kamala Harris would arrest them, right?
Yeah.
Or they're committing crimes. Maybe they're the reason why the San Francisco crime rate was so high. And Woke Kindergarten is actually just, and watch these. They're probably not even kids. They're probably like 30-year-old homeless people attending kindergarten.
Right.
Yeah. But Billy Madison. Like
Happy Gilmore.
Well, I was going to say Happy Gilmore, but then I realized that was the wrong movie.
Also, Happy Gilmore wasn't
rest
Happy.
In peace, rest in peace, Carl Weathers.
I thought you were going to say Adam Sandler for a second.
Rest in peace, Adam Sandler.
No, but it's crazy because they were already low, and if they drop 4 to 12% anyways, like after the fact, then the whole thing has been an abject failure from start to finish, even before this woke thing. And if attendance went up, it's probably because COVID restrictions have lessened and people are trying to get their kids back into school. So I don't think anybody, especially in San Francisco, the parents actually give a flying fuck in what is being taught. If anything, they actually agree more so on this garbage being force-fed into their kids. San Francisco is a lost fucking cause. It
really does feel like California is a failed state that needs to be invaded and liberated. Like, I don't know how you get that bad. You let it really. I mean, like, I would say for the most part, the Florida man stories or the stories about how crazy Florida is have largely been shifted over to California. Just like all the national attention is on California, you're going to have California man. Doesn't sound nearly as good.
As good as Florida man.
Florida man just rolls off the tongue.
It's legendary.
Yeah.
Florida man is a legend.
You got a fucking superhero name out of that. Florida man.
But you're right. The stories coming out of there are fucking comical because there was a Zoom meeting not too long ago with Newsom and some of his officials.
Oh,
and
yeah,
he was talking about a story.
We played on the last show.
He went to Target.
Right.
And a customer just walked right out. And he was complaining to the cashier, and the cashier didn't recognize who he was. And he said, well, that's because of our governor. Nobody stops him. Nobody tries to arrest him or anything.
See if I could get that clip.
And he goes, why should I pay $380 for my groceries when I can just walk out of here? Yeah, no shit, you fucker. That's what everybody in California feel.
There was another clip. This was another clip, and I'm sorry, Spencer, that I'm doing this to you because obviously we knew this was going to happen. There was a clip on CNN this past week in which they're specifically highlighting the crime in New York City and Florida, and they specifically would commit crime in New York City, and then they'd spend they say like they would rob a bunch of people, or they burglarize homes
and stuff.
Yeah, and then they would go to Florida and basically spend all that money.
Yeah, and not rob and not
rob anyone. They wouldn't commit any crimes in Florida. And the dude said to
it was a woman anchor.
Yeah, I think it was like Erica Hill or someone like that.
Some fucking retard.
Yeah. So it was a woman saying like, why would they do that? Why wouldn't they just stay in Florida and commit crimes there? And the contributor like looks like dead at her, like just like because they get arrested.
Oh,
yeah. I think
it's amazing what like enforcing the laws do. I mean, we went off on a little bit of a tangent, but
no, but that's part of the show. We always go off on a tangent. Thankfully, Ben came through with the clip. Let me go ahead and share it so we can. Oh yeah. He didn't give me the fucking clip. He gave me a link. God damn it, Ben. Jesus. Maybe we'll find it here.
Perfect, Ben. That was absolutely legendary, Ben.
All right, here we go.
You don't touch our police officers. You don't touch anybody. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah. Anyway, you let him out the next fucking day. She's talking about
you don't touch anybody except if you're a Habibi bro.
And then
you're in the same room as your Habibi bro. Then
Absolutely.
you can touch somebody.
Mm-hmm.
We're hearing a change when it comes to immigration in general from President Biden.
Wait, did you say your fart?
Touch my heart.
Your anus tart?
Mm.
Down. To hear her talk about that, it is also directly related to the fact that these were police officers. Does that have any impact? Does that change anything?
Well, it's so complicated because, you're a New Yorker. You move through the city every day as I do. We see these people. We touch these people. They're out looking for work. They're delivering our food. They're at the gas stations and the car wash. These are people who came in waves, 170,000 probably to New York City. But within that group, this hardworking, throngs of people in search of hope and a better life, there is this 1%er, criminal element that looks at a different opportunity here.
You fucking piece of
These
shit.
individuals, I went over their rap sheets yesterday. Multiple charges: grand larceny, robbery, attempted robbery, grand larceny. This particular crew operated on mopeds and scooters. They were doing organized retail theft. They were doing snatches on the street, iPhones, iPads, clothing, so on and so forth. One of them that they are still seeking has 10 charges on one day because he's part of a pattern that's been going on. And I'm looking at the dates that their arrest started, which is probably close to when they got here. They've only been here a couple of months. So what the detectives are telling me is they have crews here that operate in New York, do all their stealing, then go to Florida to spend the money and then come back. And I'm like, well, why don't they just stay and steal in Florida? And they said, because there you go to jail.
Oh.
Keep us posted.
It kind of fucking works. And I hate this fucking, like, he has to say it because he wants to get more work and more hits in CNN. But I hate when they say it's just the 1%ers. It's not just the 1%ers that are coming over the border and fucking shit up. Well, it's not just 1%.
Jay.
And they don't even know the real number because
that's what I was about to say.
Tracking it.
You can't even say it's 1% because you don't even know how many people are actually coming into the country illegally. Because the only number that they can report are how many encounters that they have. They can't report on the people that slip through because they don't know how many slip through.
Right. And there's millions more than this only 8 millions that they're saying approximated has come through the border. We have a complete fucking crisis that is going to be happening here. And we have our Democratic representatives who are actually trying to say that we should put illegal aliens into the army.
Yeah. So wait,
as a pathway,
what?
as a pathway to citizenship.
Who said that shit?
Here.
All right. While we're doing that, we're looking for that. There on Sunday, the Senate released a bipartisan bill on immigration that if you read, and for the most part, no one on Capitol Hill actually read this thing, but we're talking about it anyways. It's not like Jay and I have the time to fucking read this bill. Are you kidding me? But the key highlights of the bill include several. If you look at just the immigration side, I don't even know what's in the other parts of the bill. You might have to, enlighten me on that, Jay.
Senator Durbin.
Dick Durbin.
Dick Durbin.
And
he's been wanting to do this for years, like 10 or so years that he's been trying to push.
Okay.
Having them into the military.
So all right, we got this little tweet from Calvin Coolidge Project. Thank you, Spencer, for pulling that up. Wow. What an improvement. Has our Jew producer gone up the rankings of the JewProducers.com?
Yeah, he's gone up like a couple of spaces.
I think a few spaces.
He
shouldn't fuck it up somehow and go back down to the bottom of the list.
He's still above Josh Allen on interceptions, though.
I didn't get that.
Josh Allen has the most interceptions.
But is he Jewish?
I don't know. He's white.
Okay, Calvin Coolidge Project tweets out breaking news: a bipartisan border bill negotiated by Republican Senator James Lankford has officially been released. That's and here are the key points: 1, $60 billion in military aid to Ukraine; 2, $14 billion in military aid to Israel; and 3, $20 billion for border security. Now, I ask you this, Jay, because honestly, it sounds like that is $94 billion right there. If my math is correct. And only let's say maybe 15 to 20% of it is actually on border security.
And they're calling it a border security bill.
I actually need to punch that number in.
And
because my math skills are, this is why I didn't get into medical school, Jay. Specifically, the math skills.
I don't think it's the math skills that did it.
Oh, it's 21%. I was close.
You were. You said 15 to 20%.
Yeah, 20%. 21% of the bill is focused on border security. This is, by the way, a Republican senator who proposes. And Jay, may I also, you want to pull up a photo of what James Lankford looks like?
Do I, or does our Jew producer want to do that? Because I just saw him squirm to go and try and do it.
I think he's really excited. I think he has a bunch of photos of James Lankford on his computer. Oh, there we go, Jay. He's a ginger.
Look at that. It's always
did I not tell you? What did I say about gingers earlier? The Tucker Carlson was one. I was wrong. This guy's totally ginger.
Honestly, I thought you were going to say that gingers' assholes taste like strawberries.
I was going to say peppermint, but okay. Why won't we say ginger? Or gingerbread cookies? Imagine just a gingerbread cookie asshole, but
it just tastes like
it's a
cinnamon.
Star. It's a shooting star.
It just tastes like cinnamon.
It's a spider. Anyways, this is James Lankford. Who, by the way,
he looks like a villain. He looks like a serial killer. I mean,
also good. Yeah.
Look at that. Look at the photo on the third photo.
Yeah,
on the bottom,
smiling.
Just staring.
Look at those cold, dead eyes. Look like a doll's eyes.
Like when you say gingers don't have a soul, you just bring this picture up and you'll be like, "Yep."
Just pull up a photo of James.
You are absolutely correct. Gingers do not have a soul, and this is also.
Did you say genders or gingers?
Gingers.
It sounds like you're saying genders.
Does it really? I might have.
I think that's
probably what I said. Gingers
do not have a soul.
And this is also not even touching on the fact of a bunch of shit we don't even know that's in there. They just shove so much shit in these bills for them to try and get it passed. There was another one where it was a provision saying that they can still have 5,000 illegal aliens crossing the border a day, and that the president is not contingent on this, so he can sign it away anytime he wants. He can change it whenever he wants. So the fact that he still has all that power, them being the administration saying that they have no power in doing anything about the border is absolute fucking garbage bullshit.
This clip from this is from Joe Biden. I want to say this is today. It is today. Yeah, this is from the South. Maybe we can hear it.
Every day between now and November, the American people are going to know that the only reason the border is not secure is Donald Trump and his MAGA Republican friends.
So
he goes, the only reason is Donald Trump, and then the rest is
yeah, I got none of that. I don't know what the fuck. How do you blame Trump for the border crisis getting so bad?
He's not even president. He has no power whatsoever on any of these issues.
I mean, hold on. Unless
he's been the real president the whole
entire time.
Oh my God, here he comes.
Oh,
you know what's going to happen too?
Jay.
JFK Jr. is going to come out of nowhere. This is what's going to happen. Oh my God.
I'm so glad I saved this. Jay. So
wow.
What an admission.
This is
breaking
huge
news.
QAnon was right the whole time.
They really were.
And the coming of Christ will be JFK Jr.
I mean, RFK Jr.
No, JFK Jr.
What if the
guy who died?
What if the person who what if the people who prophesized that were Asian? They mixed up their J's and R's.
Do Asians mix up their J's?
Some letter around there. L. It's L, isn't it? L and R's. Hello. Anyway, so Trump's been president the entire time. What an admission by Joe Biden. Oh, and there's our Habibi, Batia Ungersargan, saying during a Democratic primary debate in 2019, the candidates were asked to raise a hand if they supported decriminalizing illegal border crossings. Nearly every single one did, including Joe Biden. Now they want you to pretend they didn't go ahead and immediately do it. So, I
have to say, for somebody who's a self-proclaimed socialist, she's pretty fucking based. I think she's more MAGA than she likes to give on.
I think from when we first had Batia on the show,
she's hot.
From the first time that we had Batia on the show, she said straight off she's a socialist. This was in 2021. Now it's 2024, and she almost describes herself as like a MAGA leftist populist. Although I feel like she wants to continue calling herself a socialist because she's still, doesn't want to fully admit that she has transformed and evolved into a higher form of Batia.
Right. And you know what? We deserve all the credit for it.
That's true. We actually did do this to her because when we had her on for our show, it was the day that those 13 service members were killed in Afghanistan during the withdrawal in August 2021. And at the time, Batia was very much she was supportive of the move to withdraw. And I don't think there's a single person that didn't want to withdraw, but the way that it was handled was so bad that
it was so horrible. And she tried to defend it.
Yeah.
Like that was the thing.
Yeah.
And then she came on the next
time. She's like, like a year later, she's like, you guys are right. We're like, Batia, just stay with us, because you're going places, and look where she is now. This is all us, Jay.
This is us.
Look, who would have thought?
Not me, and not her, obviously. But it's gone well. And
so the immigration bill, Jay, which we were definitely talking about and got off on the tangent.
Yes.
They first of all, they can't even use any of the policies for more than 3 years because
Right.
that's when it sunsets, and they can't use it of even every day of those 3 years. They only can implement that authority to quote unquote slow the amount of border crossings per day from, like, if it exceeds 4,000 per day, then you could use this provision for like 275 days. And if it exceeds 8,000 migrants per day, then you can use it for only like 200 days out of the year. Like, are these people like legit smoking crack and telling us that like they came up with the cure to cancer?
Yes, that's exactly what they're doing. They're saying they came up with a cure of cancer to give you heroin. That is what exactly is in this bill, and how they're trying to force it down everyone's throat. But it's more like they're trying to give you fentanyl.
But what's crazy is that, like, they have so many migrants coming in. You got so many drugs coming in. How's this shit still so expensive? Okay, you know, inflation is really hurting a lot of people. It's hitting us hard. The drugs should be cheaper.
They really should. So this, everybody's been saying this is dead on arrival in the House.
And
nobody's going to vote for it, and rightfully so. This is not the bill that people have been fighting for. This is not the type of bill that people want in there. And it's also not. It's not enough for Biden to pretend that he had no power and try to shift blame because this bill is not going to get passed.
Hold on 1 second, Jay, because I have a thing to rebuff you with, if you will.
I do need a refluffing.
We'll get the fluffing done later. What I was trying to say was that you say that it's dead on arrival, but I say, just look at what happened in the House with the impeachment of with Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas, not even passing a impeachment vote by a Republican-controlled House. There are 3 Republicans who defected. GOP reps Buck, Gallagher, and McClintock. I don't know who any of those people are. Maybe Gallagher, but it
I think
failed.
2 of them in California.
Yeah, Mike Gallagher, I think, is God, that's going to drive me nuts. Maybe Michigan, maybe Wisconsin. I think he's Wisconsin. I think he's
Wisconsin.
I think he replaced Paul Ryan. Yeah, I think he replaced Paul Ryan. Makes sense, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
For them to vote in this way as well, for him to do the same thing. And it sucks because you have forever the Republican base and the voters and everybody has been saying that we need accountability for what has happened in the at the border. And not only that, we've had this same fucking repeat story and claim from the media that the administration lying to you is the worst thing that can happen to the American people. And we're going to get the truth. And for 4 years, they have allowed Mayorkas to fucking lie to our faces. They have allowed KGP to lie to our fucking faces. They don't call them out on any of these lies. And now they're going to take the cum on the face and the shit down their throats and say that it is the Republicans' fault because the border's not closed because they didn't vote on this bill. Watch them. MSNBC, you're going to see Joy Reid and you're going to see people like Chris Hayes. And then when he dresses up as Maddow at that same night and say the same shit. And not one of these people, not one of them who pretend to be a journalist like Jake Tapper, not one of them who pretend to be a journalist that are have any kind of fucking integrity are going to say that all of this stuff is not contingent on this bill. The president can snap his fingers and reverse taking out the Trump policies that were in place, and any of the other policies that were taken off by a pen. Yeah. Not just the Trump policies. Any executive order that was taken off by a pen, he can put back. Doesn't matter which presidency it was under.
So,
and the number one role as president is to protect the country, and that includes the fucking border.
Are you talking about China in this case? Because it seems like Beijing Biden is doing a lot more to protect China's interests than he is the United States. Well, which is kind of fascinating. It is fascinating.
And just so the Habibis know what he's talking about the natural gas that bill that he signed. We can no longer export natural gas right now.
Holy shit, he signed that shit?
Yes.
Joe Biden, the Delaware with the Delaware senator?
Joe Biden, the loving father.
Jeff Epstein, the financier? The guy with the island? I swear I watched that clip for the first time last night.
No wonder why, because I was like, why is he shooting off 70 of the same fucking meme? And it's like, because you just watched
I just discovered the meme, so I have to get it out. I have to get it out of my system. I think I did.
This is so good.
Yeah. For those of you who are not remembering, this is Jim Downey on Conan O'Brien's podcast. I think it's called Conan Needs a Friend. I'm just going to pull it up and play it because it is one of those things where once you watch it, you can't really. Wait, why is Jorge? Why do I have fucking ads? Yeah. Absolutely insane. Let's go ahead and get this pulled up here. I thought it added to the stage. There we go. All right, let's go ahead and play this.
There are many figures in our society who contribute an enormous amount to our culture, and people who have unconventional personal lives.
Can people hear this?
And yet,
Let me know. Do you think people can hear this?
Yeah, we all can hear it.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure we can hear
Well,
it.
you're in the room with me, Jay, so you can obviously hear it. This is the problem with us not wearing headphones. Okay, Spencer says he can hear it. All right, let's go ahead and reward that shit.
You're like, this is the problem with
hold on,
all
Jay,
we're not
Jay,
wearing headphones, but we're playing it through the speakers.
We're playing it through the speakers and to make sure like people can hear it. And also we have like the like noise cancellation like effect on our on our mics. So like we were hoping that the audio wouldn't catch, but also at the same time, if it wasn't catching.
But I knew it wasn't going to catch because it's going through all the same source.
Sorry, I'm kind of retarded, Jay.
there are many figures in our society who contribute an enormous amount to our culture, and people who have unconventional personal lives. And yet they seem exempt from criticism. You know, Jeffrey Epstein.
Well, wait a minute. Wait a minute.
No, let me finish.
I see it.
Jeffrey Epstein.
I see it.
No one, you know, criticizes him, and yet.
Oh, wait a minute. That is a double standard.
Just wait for it.
Jim,
wrong.
Jim,
And
hold
it's
on.
okay.
Hold on. Much has been said about Jeffrey Epstein. Terrible things.
No, Jeff. I'm talking about Jeff Epstein, the New York financier.
Yes, we're talking about the same Jeff Epstein.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
I never heard.
Oh, it was a big story in the news. Huge.
No.
Yes. For you to say no one ever
Jeff
said.
Epstein.
Yes.
Jeff Epstein.
Yes, the financier.
With the island.
Yes, he had an island that I've never been to. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure, with respect, if there was some news about Jeff Epstein, I would have heard.
No, I don't know what rock you've been under. It was a huge story, and Jeff Epstein I have to tell you, he's gone. He's dead.
What do you mean?
He's dead.
He's dead.
He's
No.
dead.
Sorry, nice try. If Jeff Epstein were deceased, I'm pretty sure I would know about it. Now, I admit I've not, probably since the pandemic, I've not talked to him.
That would make sense. That would make
But
sense. He's been dead for a number of years, Jim.
I'll tell you, there's one easy way. Let's call Ghislaine Maxwell.
No, we're not calling Ghislaine Maxwell.
Why not? Okay.
She's in prison. She's in prison for crimes she committed with Jeff Epstein.
Ghislaine's in prison.
Yes, stop calling her Ghislaine. How do you know these people? Jim.
Conan.
Jim.
All right.
Jim, listen.
Okay.
Listen
I'm
to me.
just saying, I'm your friend.
shit.
You know what?
I forget.
It doesn't matter what you do in your private.
Don't do anything in my private life.
Okay.
What show was he part of?
Hi,
Jim
my
Downey,
name is
I'm not sure, but I think it might have been SNL. It was at NBC. It said there was another clip that said he talking about how Jim Downey shared an office with Bill Murray at Saturday Night Live. So I imagine he was a writer for Saturday Night Live. Because Conan was a comedy writer before he turned to a late night host. That's pretty much how most comedians kind of get started. And Conan is legitimately funny. In fact, I think he's one of the only funny late night hosts or comics. He doesn't do his show anymore. He does his podcast. Honestly, kudos to him because this shit is so much funnier than like any late night show.
Oh yeah, his podcast is fantastic. I love listening to his podcast. His podcast and Bill Burr's podcast is fucking hilarious.
Yeah. I haven't listened to Bill Burr in a long time.
Oh, it was so good. He had this I forget what the actor's name was, but they're criticizing each other's comedy. And the guy he's interviewing like got Bill Burr down
like
to a T. And then he's like, well, your comedy is like, you know, you go la da 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 and sing and all that. And then, you know, and I stub my toe and, you know, slapstick bullshit. And he's like, no, this is my comedy. I woke up in the morning and Bill Burr takes it up the butt. I went and saw the birds singing, got into my car and Bill Burr takes it up the butt.
I need to know who this
It
was.
was so good. Like that podcast was so good.
In any event, God, how the fuck did we get here, Jay? This is exactly what I'm trying to get away from. I know that the tangents probably feel good to a lot of the Habibis, but if they don't, tell us now.
Oh, John Lovitz. It was Bill Burr versus John Lovitz. Hold on.
Oh, Bill Burr and John Lovitz.
It's
good.
so good.
In any event, let's see here. What stories did we not cover? This is the exact thing, Jay. Is all the fucking dead air
That we didn't want to do.
What did I say? Well, every time we talked about the immigration stuff, I had this point that I wanted to say, and I keep forgetting it. Now let's see if I remember it. We can't we don't buy obviously the argument that Biden that he's powerless in this immigration fight. And the reason for that is because we remember 10 years ago when Obama used executive power to take executive action and basically grant amnesty to like 11 or 12 million illegal immigrants.
Yeah.
And he did this with what he called he's like, I got a pen in the phone. And from there, I knew that, you know, the executive branch really doesn't give a fuck. They could do whatever they want. I'm not saying Obama was the first one to do it. I would actually argue that, at least in my lifetime. Actually, you know what? Fuck it. Nixon did. Nixon had far too much executive power. When, Jay? He created the EPA.
Right.
Biggest mistake Nixon ever made.
Well, that and also the Watergate scandal.
No, but
resigning.
That wasn't like a move Nixon made.
No, resigning. The move he made was resigning. That was a mistake. He shouldn't have resigned.
That was a mistake. Yeah, 100%. Although, do you think a Republican would have won after Nixon had he not resigned? Like, because the 76 election, which would have been the end of Nixon's second term, so naturally you would probably think that Gerald Ford would be running against Jimmy Carter again in 76. Ford did as president, but he was obviously like, he assumed the presidency. He never won a presidential election. He lost to Carter in 76. Do you think Carter's still the president?
I still can't believe he's still alive in hotspots.
That is actually crazy.
Fucking insane.
Well, let's just talk about it and then get the breaking news that he actually just died.
Well, inshallah that happens. But we gotta watch this clip. It's fucking hilarious.
All right, what we got? On TikTok, Jay. Why can't do you not have the sound shared?
I did.
Is it because you don't have actual sound coming from your computer? You don't have speakers?
Oh,
you have to send it to me because that's
that's
wow, Jay.
That's what it is.
Now you have to put the headphones back on, Jay.
Now, yeah, I have to put the headphones back on because
there we go. Now I'll go ahead and share it. Here. Go ahead and get this two-factor authentication done real quick. Let's make sure it's gonna share here. It's loading, Jay. It's loading.
I don't know why it's loading.
We're just gonna.
I don't think the Chinese want us to watch this clip.
They don't. Let's see if we can refresh it. Oh god damn. I want to continue as a guest. No, I want to log in. All right, let's go ahead.
This is your whole act. Albert Einstein's a genius. What do you think, Bill? I don't. Is he? Is really? He couldn't even get a decent haircut. What's that? His mustache, you couldn't trim it. The guy who had AD, he was just, how'd you come up with your stuff, Albert? Oh, I sit on the couch and think for 20 minutes. Ooh, that's
right,
so
well,
hard.
I'm going to do your fucking act.
Go ahead.
Why'd the chicken cross the road? To get to that kooky other side. How? And the fucking band kicks in. That's what you do.
No, this is my act.
Lounge ledger. Can't say
Oh, you wake up in the morning and you brush your teeth. Bill Burr takes it up the butt. You wake up in the morning and you brush your hair. Bill Burr takes it up the butt. It's as easy as 1, 2, 3, as simple as ABC. You wake up in the morning and you take a breath of air. Bill Burr takes it up the butt, up the butt, up the butt, up the butt. That's my act.
Hey,
Wait, I'm actually kind of surprised. I didn't realize that John Lovitz had an act. I just knew him for his appearances in like SNL and shit.
No, most of these guys do stand-up comedy.
No,
but
I
it's
know.
not
I'm just saying I've
it's-
never seen John Lovitz perform stand-up comedy.
Yeah, now it's so much more accessible. You see all these clips from people's stand-ups on TikTok or on YouTube now and shit compared to the other.
Bro, speaking of comedy, did you see that Shane Gillis is going to be hosting SNL now?
I know, that's amazing. That's so fucking insane.
Holy! All right, so we got to unpack this for a
We've
second.
gone full fucking
We
circle.
come full fucking circle. Shane Gillis, who many of you know, he was hired by SNL in 2019, or it was announced around that time, and I think he lasted there for like 2 weeks, but maybe I'd be surprised if it was more than 2 weeks because he got canceled like right away. People started digging in through his past. They saw all of his offensive jokes that he told, and SNL fired him. It's almost very Norm Macdonald-ish.
Yeah.
All right, because Norm Macdonald, God rest his soul, was fired by SNL from doing Weekend Update because I don't know. I think he made one too many OJ Simpson jokes.
Yeah, there was an executive NBC who's friends with OJ who told him to stop.
That's right. And he didn't.
No. The next day he went in and he's like, so they're telling me to stop doing OJ jokes, but I'm going to take another stab at it or some shit like that. It's like fucking the balls he had on him, man. He's a fucking legend.
Yeah. And so Shane Gillis got fired from SNL, is coming back to host, which Norm Macdonald did himself very shortly after
he got fired.
He got fired.
Yeah.
They said he got fired because he wasn't funny. And then
his monologue just like went in.
His
the whole
monologue
fucking
actually
thing.
highlighted this particular instance. I don't know if we could play it, but maybe there's an internet clip out there. But to summarize, Norm Macdonald says that I was fired for not being funny, and then you're asking me to be the host because I'm funny. Wow. So Shane Gillis finally getting his comeuppance, and he's succeeding in so many ways. We would love it. It would be Shane if you would do us the honor and come on Habibi Power Hour. It would maybe replace our best interview, which I hope to do with Jennifer Rubin.
Inshallah.
And Jen Rubin, if you're watching, please come on HPH.
Please.
And
We haven't begged her in a while.
We really haven't. I'm begging you from the bottom of our hearts, please, Jen Rubin,
Come
here.
Come.
Here. Jen Rubin, come.
Jen Rubin, please
We
come.
want you to come here.
Come, Jen Rubin.
Come here.
Please.
Sit
Sit
on our face.
on my lap.
No face.
On my face.
Okay, there you go.
I want those balls on my face. Wait, Jen Rubin is trans, right?
How dare you besmirch her? She's at least half trans. She's like us.
He's just like us.
Who would have thought?
Not me.
All right. So Jay, you were suppressed by social media today.
Yes, I was.
And I regret to inform you, Habibis, that Jay is back on X.
Yeah, I got in detention for 12 hours.
What did you
was a long
do?
time coming.
What did you fucking do?
It was a much better day while Jay was banned. Looks like I'll have to report another one of his posts. Well, Fuzzy, it was nice because I got to spend quality time with your mother for 12 hours.
That's actually that's lovely.
Yeah.
Special. This is like the first time you've had in a long time being with Fuzzy's mom and not like constantly checking your phone to like let Fuzzy know that you're with his mom.
Right. It was really nice. The only way he knows that I was with his mom is that she had to walk around with one of those donuts that they give when you do like ass surgery or some shit.
Why did she need a donut, Jay?
Because I spent 12 hours with her.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, okay.
I love how Fuzzy like regrets ever posted shit like immediately.
I actually think it's hilarious that the Habibis who get abused the most by us are like our strongest supporters, and they abuse us just as badly back.
I know. So it was 4 tweets that they said I had to delete.
What did they? So what did they delete?
I tried to take screenshots of them.
You
but
got at least one.
I missed. I got one of them, and
what was the tweet?
It basically said that Palestine should be annihilated.
That was the tweet.
That was basically the tweet. And then there was another one which was a reply to somebody else that I told them like commies, the only thing commies are good for are riding on helicopters.
It's funny because most people probably don't get that joke.
But I mean, apparently whoever the fuck they have in at X now knows it. I mean, I think they're starting. Yeah, now I'm on the radar. That's going to be a fucking
just
that's going to be
another
a
watch list, Jay.
I'm always on them. I'm always on the watch list. I mean,
he loves coming on everything, specifically watch lists.
Specifically,
yeah. Maybe that's why you like.
Well, because I get turned on when people watch me do what I do to Fuzzy's mom.
Wait, there's a way for us to watch it?
Yeah. Ass licking OnlyFans.
Oh, there we go. Sign me up. God, can you imagine having an OnlyFans?
I would
but
post
watch us like not post any like nudes. It's all like us like in full winter coats. Just as much clothing as we can. This is what you
it would just be us watching like Arrested Development while we're wearing the big tidy whities that fits 2 people in it.
A shared pair of
whitey tidies. So we just sit there watching it.
2 people fit into. Jay, did you see the RNC chairwoman Ronna Romney McDaniel resigned tonight?
I know, finally.
Yeah, that's what do you think did it?
I think it's the too much bad press, and it finally got.
But
to
what was the bad press? What was it? Was it the fact that they couldn't impeach Mayorkas?
No, I think it's like the accumulation of it all, and the RNC has been bleeding money. It has been in the negative and needing a bailout. You can see it right over here. They've been in the negative for God knows how long, and it's been amazing that they have allowed this to go on. And I forget her name over at Red State, but she's been doing an in-depth report on this, and she also found that they had an apartment in Miami that they were paying rent for.
What?
For $10,500 a month.
What?
Yeah. You go. She wrote it for Red State.
Oh my God.
If you click on that link on the tweet,
like Jen Van Laar.
Yeah, that's who it is. Jen Van Laar. She's been doing it for.
Or is it Jan Van Laar?
She's been going on and doing this report for like almost 3 years now, and the extent of what they've been just wasting money on is insane. Like there needs to be like fraud cases brought up against these people on what it's been doing.
Okay, this is the story. So it's exclusive. RNC spent 1.5 million on floral arrangements, limos, management, media consultants. Okay, so that was published on January 31st. Wow, I actually didn't realize that was a massive, and it's coming from Red State of all places. It's not like a Mother Jones or Daily Beast, like, you know, a left-wing smear campaign. Like this is specifically like right-wing on right-wing coverage.
Right.
Which is fascinating because I'm surprised it took this long for it to happen. I mean, you mentioned it's finally that she resigned. I didn't realize she was under this like, wait, Rhonda McDaniel? Are you talking about Mitt Romney's niece?
No, she's been under the scope for it because of how many campaigns they've been losing. They haven't been spending the money properly on seats that they needed to in order to win. And it's surprising that she held on this long, even after Trump got out of office. And you know, he endorsed her twice to stay on as the RNC chairwoman, which fucking boggles the mind because even when he was endorsing her, she was a failure.
Yeah, you would think that after losing a presidential election, given like all the funding and all the money that was raised in the RNC coffers, how pretty much across the board, with the exception of the House, Jay,
right,
the Republicans lost. So, and I'm not going to get into the whole like election, 2020 election fraud that took place. But it is there's either two reasons why Trump lost, like legitimately, because of all the down ballot races in the House. Like more Democrats lost seats than I think they ever had, and like a good while before that that election. People in like purple districts, like swing districts,
right, were
losing. Democrats were losing in swing districts. When you look at sort of that and then see that Trump lost by what 6-7 million votes, and like in a lot of these, swing states like Michigan and Pennsylvania and Wisconsin, Arizona, like it's very difficult for me to think that some fraud didn't happen.
No, and what's amazing
we've talked about it extensively.
Is that
but even just
when you're pushing that the fraud has happened, it's as much as it did. Why didn't they have a huge push into fighting the policies that were put in place during COVID that allowed for a lot of this shady shit to happen? Mail-in ballots, ballot harvesting.
When you look at all of that, you're like, that was the entire point of COVID, and that's why they did it.
Mm-hmm.
Which you got to hand it to them. They fucking pulled that off really well.
They really did. And not one. No
one saw it.
No, but there was no ads, no push, no nothing. Complete silence from the RNC about these policies needing to be reversed now that COVID is over. COVID is over, and they still have all of these policies in place.
Yeah.
And when the voting starts to happen in November, we're going to see a huge push. Don't go outside. Just vote in by mail. Stay safe.
So there's that component as well, the mail-in ballots. Jay, there's a Florida grand jury that's currently looking into the COVID lockdowns, right? That like specifically, I don't know if they're doing the vaccines, but what have you heard about that? The reason I bring that up is because in when we talk about this stuff, obviously we're a little bit more like conspiratorial, like narrative driven. But the odds of something like this happening without like, like if the chance that this is all happening at random, like for a lot of people, that's very uncomfortable to think about, right?
Yeah.
You rather think that like something nefarious or ominous is, or, malicious is happening behind the scenes that we don't know about. and we can never prove because we don't have obviously that type of access. But the Florida grand jury, what are they doing with this stuff? Are they actually looking into like the reasonings behind the lockdowns or what?
Yeah, they're going over the policies of locking down the schools. They're going over the vaccines. They're going over, 2 weeks to stop the spread, 10 feet and masks as well. And they're going through all the evidence to showcase that they knew early on that none of this shit fucking worked. The masks never fucking worked.
So
locking down schools was what shouldn't have happened. It's just bringing into light a lot of the truth that we've known, but now we can like see it on paper.
So for a lot of people who are like saying, why is the Florida grand jury, rehashing old shit or potentially like wasting taxpayer dollars by investigating this? Like we all know, like for one, it's for the record, and two, it's a data point. And the reason why these data points help sort of paint a picture is that you could actually get down to the bottom of what actually happened and the reason why so many people died of COVID and so many people died from loneliness because of all the lockdowns. And you can't, we don't even know like the full human toll that these lockdowns had on all of us, because there are so many of us who are damaged, not just by the virus, but specifically by the lockdowns.
Yeah.
Economically, financially, emotionally, and mentally, physically, you name it. There's not a single person that didn't suffer during COVID.
No, and we're finally seeing like reports from the New York Times and Washington Post on the toll it took on children too.
Yeah.
And how they're never going to recuperate the years lost. I mean, the education system has already been like completely shot to shit. And then you add in the lockdowns to it as well, and locking children away from being outside or going places. I mean,
you fill skate parks with sand. So
exactly.
Skateboards.
They were calling mothers who wanted to take their kids to the zoo grandma killers, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
So it's just so you can. I mean, there needs to be people held accountable 100%. For this type of shit, and it's not going to happen.
With that being said. Show we got only just a little bit over 69 minutes, which is very nice. We always try to make every show at least 69 minutes. Jay, there was one other thing I wanted to say about this. Do you ever think we're going to get an investigation into? I know that they are. I don't know if the Senate is looking. No, because the Senate doesn't dictate Senate doesn't dictate some of these investigations. At least a Democratic controlled Senate is not, even though it's split 50-50. That being said, do you think we're ever going to get an investigation into Fauci for what happened? And the Wuhan Institute of Virology?
I hope, look, if we win the presidency back and we get enough people in the House, maybe.
Yeah. I honestly don't know.
But other than that, I can't say for sure. I think it's going to be a lost thing, and
I feel like we'd only investigate it after Fauci dies,
right?
Which might be soon, because he's just closer to death than many of us are. Of course, tomorrow is never promised, Jay. So who knows? Tony Fauci might outlive us, because I don't know. The Biden administration might drone strike us tonight.
He does like to threaten it.
Yeah.
Shit.
So, Jay, the Grammys were this past weekend. And there was a lot of buzz about a lot of things happening. And it was a lot of music was being played. A lot of musicians were.
I don't know. I didn't watch it. I didn't really care about it. But
this is called faking it till you make it.
Right.
So you're gonna tell me you didn't watch it on camera?
No, I didn't.
You tell that to me off camera, Jay.
I didn't watch it. One thing I was really happy to see though that happened was Tracy Chaplin, who won Grammys and won awards for her song "Fast Car," finally got the recognition for "Fast Car."
Thank God.
So fucking stupid. The whole thing was fucking retardedly stupid.
I'm so
right
glad.
When they wrote the article out, because Luke Combs is white and he wanted to go ahead and cover the song, that they tried to make it out like it became popular because a white guy sang it.
Right.
completely negating Tracy Chaplin's fucking existence.
Like I've heard Fast Car dozens of times, and the entire time that I heard it, I actually did not know who Tracy Chapman was. When like I just didn't listen to her music, but like I listened to the radio and I'd hear that song come on, and I'm like, oh, I hear the song. I don't know the name of it or the artist, but I'm also not like, because obviously I'm into 90s hip hop, Jay. I don't like go out of my way and just ask people like who sang the song, like what's the name of the song and who sang it, because I don't want to be looked at like a loser because I only know 90s hip hop. People are like, it's Tracy Chapman. What are you, autistic? You don't know who Tracy Chapman is? I'm a little bit.
I always thought that she was a white country singer.
Luke Combs. What if like Tracy Chapman took off her mask and revealed herself to be
and she was Luke Combs. She was always Luke Combs.
Did we miss any stories?
Yeah, some stuff on woke children and
well, we did the woke kindergarten.
No, the New York Times opinion that's finally come out and all that kind of stuff. But we can get to it
another time. All right, yeah, because that's like a long. There's no like trans stories in the news, so I completely forgot. But it's an op-ed in the New York Times about detransitioning kids.
Yeah.
The only reason that people are basically fighting or finding like any, the only reason why this is coming to attention is, and why people are speaking up about detransitioning is because the trial attorneys are now getting involved. And when there's trial attorneys going after gender affirming care, sure, you could oppose gender affirming care and this like transing of kids, right, Jay? But as soon as they start suing and coming after your pockets, like that changes a lot.
Oh yeah,
a lot of all, and I think that we talk about lawfare and like using legal ways to, or using the law to basically like win a fight. They're doing this mainly to bankrupt them.
Yeah.
So if the left can do it to us, why can't we do it to them?
Right.
So what I'm saying is fuck them kids.
Yeah.
All right, Habibis. Thank you all so much for joining us tonight. I've been Habibi. Whoa.
I've been Habibi Power Hour.
Wow, Jay.
I have been your Habibi Mujahed Kobbe.
And I'm Siraj Hashmi. We'll see you next time on the Habibi Power. This Thursday, the list for the month of January. Come tune in. 9 p.m.?
9 p.m.
We're doing 9 p.m. 9 p.m. East, 6 p.m. Pacific, 6/9. Very nice. Peace, Habibis. Love you.